Welcome everyone. Today we will be looking in depth at the hero Settsu. Settsu is one of the cheaper heroes, costing right at 525 rubies or 1000 shards. But she does require a bit more specific playstyle than the base hero you start with, resulting in some people thinking she's underpowered, but she can actually be quite strong, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a more confident understanding of the hero and you'll be able to climb the ladder with decks of your own design. So let's start with the absolute basics and cover her talents and attack. Settsu has a pulse rifle that has a small magazine of 5 shots but does a huge 40 damage per second with her shots. When she runs out of ammo, she will have a downtime of 5 seconds to reload. Her first trait is Blast Entry, which adds a 2 mana cost spell with the same name into her deck that allows her to jump onto the battlefield with 300 health and deal 50 damage to all minions when she lands. Once that 300 health is up, she will have to jump back to the hero tower. Her second trait is Combat Reload, allowing Settsu to reload every time you cast a spell, allowing her to do consistent damage as long as you have some smart spell usage. Setsu's final trait is High Powered Laser, giving the first shot in her magazine twice the damage, the ability to pierce targets, and a 3-second stun. This is incredibly useful for both damage and control, especially when combined with the other 2 traits. Use Blast Entry to get into the fray, and then cycle spells to fire off high-powered lasers for high damage and stuns to all enemies around you. Ideally, you want to create decks that can capitalize on Setsu's burst damage. I will show you gameplay of 3 different Settsu decks, and I'll try to commentate over each one to say how each one works. The first deck I'm going to show you is extremely aggressive and bursty. It enrages 3 Zeppelins to get an immediate 15,000 burst damage into the hero, and then uses a black hole to make them immune, reset their attack, and then make it so they can hit the last 1,500,000 damage into the hero. Now this is extremely weak to any range damage or basically anything that can stop the Zeppelins, but it's really fun to see that combination go off when it happens. So you can see here my starting hand, I only have one of the Zeppelins, so I'm going to try to cycle through to get more of them loaded up. I think some are going to be a little bit further behind. I try to take the risk. I'm going to play 2 down right here and then enrage them. This I'm hoping that I'm going to at least get a few attacks in. Part of the reason why I'm going to be using Settsu for this is to make sure that if I miss any of the attacks on the Zeppelin, I can go ahead and jump in as Settsu and get that last damage in. But you can see I just black holed the Zeppelin, was able to get 2 attacks off, and since it was enraged, each attack did do 500 damage. And now you can see I have 3 Zeppelins in my hand here. I have Enrage ready to go. I see the combo potential, and I get really excited. Put them all down. Rage potions kind of come out, and then I have Black Hole to follow it through. And as Mordor, he's not really going to have that much to stop there. Make him immune, and then that's going to be the end of the game. Really fun to get some burst potential in with the triple Zeppelin. Alright, the second deck I'm going to show you is still going to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, but there are multiple win conditions throughout here. You can push it really early on with the Blood Imps and the Guardian and enrage those guys, or you can go ahead and try to play a little bit later of a game, try to get to the point where you have 1,500 health to have double health on the red golems, and then use your spell cycle and Zeppelin's jump, or Setsu's jump, in order to keep some insane board presence on. But you'll see that you're going to be able to push lanes pretty effectively with this. You'll keep trying to bait out answers from them until they don't have any more answers to give, and then the second there's that hole there, the amount of burst damage you can put in is pretty insane. But you can see I start the game with a mana puff. Main reason why I do that is I like putting it down. It only costs 1 mana, instantly gets you to the bridge, and it kind of forces them to play something soon. So once they do something to try to counter it or try to take the bridge back or stop you from getting that 1 mana back, you can go ahead and counter the thing that they put down on the board. You can see right here I have a ton of potential right here. He is playing Mordor, so I'm going to try to stop the area of effect attack from ramping up too much, so I'm just going to shock rock his face, And then they're all enraged. They're gonna get in there. There's just that little bit of a hole, and the burst damage potential is ridiculous. That's gonna be game. And finally, I have a Dragon Nest deck to show you for Settsu. I have the inclusion of Soul Stealer in this deck to ensure that Settsu is not going to be completely defenseless when it comes to hordes of minions. It's also a great target to get the buff from Spirit Infusion on. And also you can reset its attacks with Black Hole to try to get the biggest, baddest Soul Stealer you can imagine. There's a ton of spells in here that are great at resetting Setsu's attacks, so you're going to be able to have a lot more board presence, a lot more sustained, and then when it gets to your third trait, you're going to have a ton of stun as well. There's also a good amount of spells, all to trigger the Dragon Nest. You could make this deck without double Dragon Nest and just try one and then two Black Holes. Either way you want to do, but this is the deck that I settled into and enjoy the most right now. So you can see my opponent has played a lot of low-cost minions at the start. Usually Setsu's pretty weak to this, but luckily we do have that Soul Stealer in the deck. I'm going to just plan them down, try to start getting some stacks going on, but unfortunately I played Black Hole on the wrong side of the board. I did intend to put that on top lane, and that's going to stop the Soul Stealer from getting too many stacks. I did still want to play a spell to try to get the Dragon Nest out, and I was afraid of playing anything else, because then I might have killed too many of the minions around on board. Oh, just a small misplay, but I am going to be able to carry on here. We do have a dragon that's getting a ton of the Spirit Infusion stacks, so we're going to have quite a substantial push on bottom lane. We'll Shock Rock the Blood Imps to ensure that our Dragon Nest doesn't stay down there for too long. They're going to be able to turn around and deal with that Soul Stealer before it gets any stacks. After this, we see we have two Dragon Nests in our hands. I'm going to try to get both of these things going here in a second, but I see that he's playing a bunch of Blood Imps, so I'm just going to get a lot of free stacks for my Soul Stealer right now. This is going to be able to bring his attack speed up to quite a significant level, and I'm going to be able to get a decent push going on, but unfortunately that Succubus did stop it right there. But we do have double Dragon Nest coming here right now. We also have the jump that we're going to be able to use to trigger the Dragon Nest from coming out, while also be giving us another target that's great for Spirit Infusion. We can actually Spirit Infuse Settsu, as you can see right there, giving us even more push potential, especially once we get that second trait. Setsu's going to have so much more health that she's going to be on the board a lot more often, and we're still going to have a ton of spells, so we can keep cycling her attack in, and she becomes quite a push all by herself. I'm going to put down another another Soul Stealer, because I know he's playing a ton of low-cost guys. There's a lot of shielded guys at the front. I want to get more stacks there, but the dragons already did so much damage that we're going to win right there. That's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope I showed how Settsu can be really strong. You just need to make sure to take advantage of opportunities to get in the high burst damage that she is capable of. Use spells effectively and take advantage of her high damaging rifle, and you'll be climbing the ladder in no time. If you have a certain Settsu playstyle that you enjoy that I didn't say in this video, feel free to write a comment down below. This is a new style of video for me, so if you want to see more like this, please let me know, and thank you for watching.